We've got market open a few seconds from now. So 130 points on the Nifty. You've got decent gains on the Sensex. And there's a 0.5% higher open once again. 23,000 plus on the Nifty and 49,700 on the Nifty Bank. The small cap index is up about 0.8%. And 10 is to 1, not 10 is to 1, beg your pardon. It's 6 is to 1 advances to decline, at least right out of the gates in terms of the market open. We'll have to give it some more time for things to settle. But this is a good looking screen, good open in that sense. Absolutely. 100 on the Nifty and about 300, about almost 400 points on the Sensex is what we have. And I think the broader markets are doing just fine once again. Nifty heat map, if we have it, maybe just gives you a quick sense. I think it'll be all green, mostly all green. Maybe 10, 11 names in the red. Everything else is starting strong. Sriram.
Absolutely. This is a good opening. And off late, the implied open has been spot on in terms of predicting the actual opening as well. Indeed, it's 100 points up and 23,000 is on the screens for the Nifty. IT stocks finally are managing to recover after the drubbing they've received earlier this week. Wipro, Infosys, we were just discussing these names with the analyst at BNP. So there's some buying that's coming back. TCS is also about 0.7% higher. So that's a solid move for the market. And you have banks and financials. So both the twin turbo engines are charging ahead for the bulls. Banks and IT. IT I've mentioned. Let's look at banks. Indices is seeing some takers, 1% up this morning. There's ICICI Bank, there's State Bank of India. These are stocks on the higher side. SBI Life from the broader financial universe looking good. HDFC Bank itself is up about 0.5%. Kotak is higher. Axis is also higher. So banks looking quite good. Reliance is contributing, not too much, just about 4 rupees, thereabouts, 4-5 rupees on Reliance. But for what it's worth, it's in positive territory for the time being. Aside of IT, banks and Reliance, M&M, BEL, these are the other gainers. Adani Enterprises seeing some early gains as well. The only part of the market that's a little soft, JSW Steel, some of the metal counters are losing their sheen after yesterday's big moves. L&T is quiet, 0.5% lower. And there's a little bit of red on some of the pharma names like Sun Pharma, Reddy's and Pharma close to the flat line. But otherwise, it's a solid start, 100 points higher.
100 points higher on the Nifty, and it's the IT pack which is leading it. The broader markets have been interesting moves, big moves as well. Z, for instance, we just discussed that pre-open, about 30-40 seconds ago. CLSA is bullish on the stock. It's opened about 4% higher. We've seen some traction in mid-cap IT as well. Mphasis, Birlasoft, Intellect, Design Arena, all of them up anywhere between 2 to 3%. But on the way down, I'm looking at all these cables and wires stocks. Yesterday we got an exchange notification from the Adanis that they've incorporated a joint venture for their cables and wire foray. The foray itself was known already, but the action that, they've gone ahead and incorporated a joint venture has the street worried because, again, this is, coming after Ultratech has made their announcement in this space as well. So we have KEI Industries down about 7%, Polycab down about 6%, Havells down about 5%, RR Kabel down about 2%. All these companies have said that for any conglomerate to come in and establish some certain market share out there which could impact the industry is still about 2 to 3 years away, but we are seeing some decline out there. Voltas, healthy analysts meet. Maybe the street does not like the fact that the company is preferring growth and market share over margins, or perhaps it could just be routine profit taking after a 16% up move that we've seen on the stock itself. Jubilant Foodworks down about 2%. Remember, the Turkish lira has depreciated a fair bit, and they had, some exposure to that via their DP Eurasia JV. So maybe a bit of concern out there after the recent outperformance that we've seen. But no such problems for the stocks that have been doing well. Garden Reach Shipbuilders, another day, another big up move, and they've gotten a memorandum of understanding with the Nagaland PWD for supply of 8 sets of double-lane modular steel bridges. So orders coming in thick and fast. Also orders coming in for Paras Defense. That stock's opened about 8% higher at the open itself. 140 crore order, if I remember correctly, announced just before market open today. That stock up 8%. So big moves on both sides. Mid-caps outperforming. And as things have settled 4 minutes, 5 minutes into trade, we have 2,000 stocks which are advancing for about 200 which are declining. But the ones which are declining are seeing massive cuts.
Absolutely. And, it's a good-looking screen, 120 points. So despite that, the pressure from... remember, earlier it was the Aditya Birla Group with their planned foray into this segment, the wires and cable segment. And that day, of course, stocks fell 8, 9, 10, 12%. and now it's another one. All the biggest volume-led gainers are all these wires and cable companies, as Mangalam pointed out. Mangalam was pointing out right before open, Z started 5% higher and it's got the second highest volumes on the NSE. So about 105 rupees, and we'll have details of what CLSA is saying on Z in just a bit from now as well. That's it. Otherwise, on the upside as well, volume-wise, it's a kind of slow start. But like yesterday, hopefully it broadens out. Eris is up. Eris Life Science is up 11%. And it's got some volumes as well. So that's why I'm making a quick mention of it. That's it. Otherwise, it's a decent kind of start. The number one volume-led gainer is Garden Reach with a 3% gain at this stage.
Actually, that yesterday, PSU move from yesterday, that's kind of continuing this morning as well. So you have some of the shipbuilders, have some of the railway stocks, some of the financial names, so Ircon, etc., IRFC. These stocks are still up and about. So the PSU move is also on. But I think Mangalam spotted the most interesting trend of the morning, which is wires and cables. And I remember what these companies said even after the Ultratech entry. They maintained a very brave face, saying that this will take some time, it won't be disruptive, etc. There was some recovery in the stocks. But the fact is, there have been two huge, big, deep-pocketed players coming in. Perhaps you can't entirely write off the competitive intensity that could maybe unleash ahead. So, yeah, all of them down 4-5%.
We'll keep a track of them.